Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Reach Podcast Show. We're getting ready to have another amazing episode this morning. Welcome to my special guest, Miss Houston. We'll talk about all the fun things and exciting things she's bringing to the kids. Shout out to her. Wade, tell the people where you're at right now.
Hey everyone. I'm currently in the outside of Charlotte. So actually a place called Ford. Sounds kind of country, but that is where I'm located. It's on the outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Absolutely, absolutely. We appreciate you. This is just the power of the internet right now. We actually met via Instagram. She was viewing my stuff, I was viewing her stuff, and I was like, man, we got to connect. We got to do something because she has this amazing platform and company called Little Germinators and giving back to the kids. We'll talk all about that. And also a dance and song for our kids. I'm hoping to make it a new Instagram crave, a TikTok crave, or something like that, But we definitely gonna get into everything that she has going on. So I appreciate you gravitating to what we have going on, man. And so welcome to the show. But before we get into all of that,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely, absolutely. Before we get into all that, we even talked to the World Youth Foundation last night. We had our board meeting. You got a chance to speak on there. So shout out to World Youth Foundation, man. They're always supporting me and things that we're doing, but they're also supporting the city as a whole. Shout out to Mika Diamond. She's definitely a support system and all the things that we have going on. But also, just again, as I always say every week, shout out to everybody. And we're all dealing with COVID-19, and that's another topic that we'll be discussing this morning, and the germs and stuff that comes from that. And so we'll get to view things from your point on that situation. But just God bless all the families. Prayers out to anybody who's lost someone or who's dealing with it directly. I thank God, fortunately enough, I'm not dealing with it directly in anybody in my family, but we are all going through these hard times and making adjustments. Absolutely. And trying to stay relevant when it comes to business and having to be creative. And that's what it's all about, So shout out to all you guys. Salute to all the graduates, my sister. And another amazing thing, we found out that I have another J Boogie. We have another J Boogie. They call you J Boogie.
Yes, I know.
So,
I know. It's so crazy how that happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have two J Boogies now. But my other sister, Mika Diamond, she did another episode this morning. Shout out to all the graduates, man. My heart just breaks for the ones that are missing out on so many things that they won't get another opportunity to do that, as far as it goes in high school. So shout out to all you guys. We salute you. You already know I got your back. There's some things. Check out www.dadchronicles, and you can see all the featured seniors that we're honoring this week for Mika Diamond's grad week. I'm displaying them on there just as a way for me to honor them. Also, you guys go to my page and click on the Walk for Life link. Please click the Walk for Life link. That is for you to get registered for our walk that we're going to do Father's Day weekend on that Saturday, June 20th. We're looking to get as much exposure to that event as we possibly can. And then shout out to my man, Garrett Jones for GM. Garrett Jones is pushing to be the new GM for the Houston Texans. There's a link on my page for that as well. So just shout out to him and the amazing things that he will bring to the Houston Texans. I'll just say it on here. I already said, man, I'm leaving, but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to save everybody just because of the things that's been going on. So, shout out to him on that. And just stay tuned to the Reach podcast. We have plenty more things coming you guys' way. But nevertheless, welcome to you, Miss Houston. I have to.
Thank you. I'm trying to share. I'm trying to get this good information and share it on my page. So I know if people see me looking down or tapping on my computer, just bear with me because I definitely want to get this message out to the Carolinas. First and foremost, LeVar, thank you so much for having me this morning going into the evening. I'm so excited. And I heard you shout out, an NFL team. I want to shout out Carolina Panthers, too, from where I'm from.
Absolutely.
So, but thank you so much.
No problem. And so what I want to do is just get started by, and I'm doing the same thing. We want to share this stuff, like you said, just to get it on all the platforms. So please
everyone, please share.
Share. We definitely want her message to be exposed because it's great. And, as we get into it, but before we get into it, you'll see it's not just for the kids, and I'll let you explain that a little bit more, but it's all for the parents, the guardians. But what she's doing is taking it to, I guess I would say, the kid level, making it fun, making it adaptable. But us as parents, it's something that we definitely need to share and allow the kids to be a part of. And this is just something that we'll really see taking off. That's how I see it. And it's really wholesome and good information. So what I want to do is just read what I received from you, basically like a little short bio, and let the people really understand.
Okay.
Read on yourself, and then we'll also read on the company as well. So I'll start with you. Of course, CEO of Little Germinators. So Jolandra Houston is a native of the Carolinas and currently residing in Denver, North Carolina, with her husband William and her two sons, BJ and is it Jolin? How do I pronounce it? I don't want to butcher it. Jolin. Okay, I got it right.
Jolin, and the first part of his name came from my name, Jolandra. So I took the first part of my name and gave it to him. Since I don't have a little girl, I have boys.
Yeah, we do.
So.
Absolutely. All right. She's a graduate of Winthrop University and the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, and holds a bachelor's in early intervention with a concentration in early childhood and a master's in early childhood education. She is also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Go on, do your shout out. I know you got to do something.
To all my sorrows out there.
Right. Her hope is to raise awareness about germ prevention for children and families by bridging the gap between the home and school environments, and as well as within our surrounding community and beyond. And for more information, you can find her on all platforms at Little Germinators or www.littlegerminators.org, not .com, .org, O-R-G. That's how you find her.
Yeah.
And so that will take you to Little Germinators. And Little Germinators is a research-based hygiene program that promotes a change in hygiene behaviors and creates and practices early on. The purpose is to increase child awareness, knowledge, and understanding in the area of germ prevention through interactive, hands-on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and arts, and math-based. Hold on, we got a call in. Let's see if we. Hold on one second.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you for calling GMT Radio. All right, they hung up. All right. Let's see. Let's go back. Understanding the areas of germ prevention through interactive hands-on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and arts and math-based activities and presentations for grades pre-K through the second grade. One of Little Germinator's target goals are to bridge the gap between school and home environment in order to create behavior change. Teaching children to be accountable as well as advocates about hand hygiene, health within their natural classroom and school settings is an essential piece of the program. One of Little Germinator's long-term goals, of creating health behavior change is getting children to turn hand washing into a well-practiced habit. In order for this to be accomplished, Little Germinator relies heavily on teacher and parent support and teacher modeling and peer motivation to help establish norms as well as sustainability for the program's continuum beyond the classroom. And that's one of our big things. We're trying to take the kids out of the classroom, teach them things outside of the class. So, man, hats off to you again. It's so important. And this
Thank you.
The youth is one of my platforms and people that I try to reach. So there you have it, So
thank you.
Just tell us a little bit about you and the journey. What led you to want to create a program like this?
Well, I appreciate you introing me to that because it is really like a testimony for me and how Little Germinators got started. As mentioned before, I am an educator, so I'm still in the classroom. I'm still zooming in with my students while doing this kind of on the side, but spreading the message and not the germs through Little Germinators. But how I arrived upon Little Germinators while I was getting my master's I started studying within the whole germ process, and that didn't just come. You know, my professor always told me that if you are going to graduate with your master's and you're going to do a report or a dissertation, please make sure it's in something that is really that you're passionate about. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that is. And so after constant prayer and thinking about what I do, just in the natural realm of things, teaching and educating. I was in my class one day and a little girl actually upon dismissal sneezed in my face.
Oh,
so
wow.
I literally was I literally was wiping the cold from my eye, and it was like, I call that my epiphany moment, because at that point I was saying, you know what, this is it. I work with children on a daily basis. I even have children, and something has to be done to bring awareness to children about being more germ conscious. So I began my research within that area in reference to if there was other programs. And, you know, Little Germinators, it's not a new thing. There has been other research studies that have been doing some of the same things that I am doing, with a little bit of different spin on it in reference to Little Germinators. But the thing is, I began my research, and at the time I graduated with my master's, and then I just kind of just left it behind, just like anybody else would. You know, life gets busy. You move, new jobs, just things take over, and you kind of put it to the side. It just kind of laid, you know, dormant for a while, where I didn't do anything with it until one day I got hurt. I got hurt playing basketball in a staff faculty game. And I was really in prayer about that, because it took me out of my role. It took me out of my role in reference to a mother, an educator, just me being, my, you know, who I am, actually got me in a state of being kind of really down and trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, because I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason and for a purpose, including Little Germinators. So during that time of stillness and prayer, I came back to what I studied and getting my master's degree. And so I said, you know what, let's just start digging into that.
Excuse me, not to interrupt, give me 1 second, because I want people to understand that, because with this COVID thing going on, the part that we can't just step over, and I'd like for you to speak a little bit more on that, is that, you know, I don't know if you want to call it depression stage or just that down stage, you know, whether it was a deep, you know, downtime, or, you know, what did you do to get out of that? Because see, that's where everybody gets stuck, you know, and they don't know how to come out of that. And I mean, you mentioned prayer and, you know, being faithful and stuff like that, and having faith. But that's my thing, is critical thinking and mental toughness. And it's definitely something that we're talking about these days. So just, if you don't mind, speak a little bit more on that, and you know, to whatever extent, if it was deep, and what you have to do to get out of that, because I want people to understand it starts with you and it starts within.
Right. And especially now more than ever, because now that we're in a COVID-19 quarantine state, it's really key and really idea to be strong in your mind, right? It all starts in here, regardless. And that even is partnered with what we do and what we teach in reference to Little Germinators, in reference to changing your habit. It starts in your mind first. When you change your behavior and change your mindset, then your behavior will follow. But in reference to me getting out of that moment, it's a process, and everybody has their particular journey, and nobody can put a time frame on that, unfortunately. But it's through prayer, just going outside, and also too, not to be, you know, too spiritual, but you have to show action, right? The thing is, we all have a vision. We were all born with a vision. We were all born with a purpose. We all have that deep down inside of us. But the thing is ultimately up to us to put action forward. Because my thing is, God can only do but so much, you know, through prayer. You have to put your action forward. He needs something to work with, right? You need to show him something and move forward. So the thing is, even though I could not walk, I would say on the couch for like 2 weeks with my leg propped up, praying like, I know that there's reason and purpose behind this. It was 1 minute before the game was over with. 1 minute. And so it took me out of my job. It took me out of my roles. It took me out of everything. And so just being through, going through that process of prayer and kind of just seeking what my purpose was and really praying about that, this is kind of where I came and stumbled back to looking into my research more. And so when I speak on the terms of action, I had one leg, I had a scooter. And so I was going to business expos on one leg, scooting around, people. But the thing is, yeah. So the thing is, I know that when you put that action forward, despite your obstacles, despite your challenges, God is going to help see you through. But you got to show that fire. You got to show that passion. And that's one thing. Despite my circumstances, I still continue to move forward. And it did take some long nights. It took research on my end to press forward. But and that's how kind of Little Germinators was birthed. You have got to put action, toward your plan, toward your vision. And that is exactly what it's about. COVID-19, you got to really maintain a strong mindset, self-talk, self-reflection, and really putting it to action. Despite how you may feel emotionally, you have to go forward with it, press through.
Absolutely. 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 And can you hear me good right now?
I can.
Okay, cool. I guess that went out just for a second. But want to take a second to shout out to Miss Ronnie. She said good morning to you. She's on the live as well. Shout out to Joetta Watson, Miss Yolanda Hodgins. Hey, Mom, how you doing? But yeah, so man, all of that, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that, because that's that tidbit that they need to know. Nothing comes easy, and you got to work for it. So no, I appreciate you.
Not at all.
That. But yeah, so just carry on, with where you were going with the story, okay, as far as how you got into
it. And then, like I said, one thing just came to another. And one thing about just in terms of passion and pressing through is that, through your journey, through prayer, like things could just kind of interconnect naturally and divinely, just like starting out. I really am really appreciative for you having the discernment to reach out to me, to Little Germinators, so we can get this, this podcast started and this information out so more people can hear it on the central side about what's going on in the Carolinas and the Eastern region. So I'm really appreciative of your discernment. But the thing is, one thing, like I said, just came to another with the drawing, the character, even Germy character. It took a while, to actually get the character down. Because the thing is, which I have him here.
Yeah,
say hi, Germy.
Please tell me
so
here he is.
Yeah. So Germy travels with me everywhere I go, because he is a symbol that speaks volumes without even saying anything. He's a message within himself. Right. And that's what we want to get out to children. When they see this character, when they hear the name Germy, it instantly triggers their mind that, okay, germs, Germy. Oh, wash my hands. I need to be conscious about that. This character alone is a walking symbol for children to be more germ conscious, which is why we want to get them into the homes, which is why we want to get them into the classrooms and put them in the students' hand washing stations. So that way he serves as a reminder to be to wash your hands properly for that 20-second interval. So these things right here will create that behavior change. And it's research behind that. Anything you see, anything you say long enough, it will become you. And so the thing is, seeing Germy is a constant reminder. And this is research, research in reference to neocortex of the brain, or the basal ganglia of the brain. There's parts of the brain that determine and dictate decision making, and also too that dictate behavior, habit change. So those two things actually can just come from seeing it and putting it out there in the atmosphere over and over and making it consistent and memorable. And so that's what Little Germinators is all about.
Absolutely. So take a second. People are on the live. We have, I hope I'm saying it right, I don't want to mess up anybody's name, Jarita Crump. Is that correct? She said good morning to us.
Yes.
She said go Rockstar. She's proud of you.
That's my sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey girl.
And so, you have plenty of people that are coming on from your side. you know, Eastern side. And
Oh, thank
you know,
you.
we appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're just going to come together. It's going to be one big family, one big global family as we rock out this German
Absolutely.
thing. So with that,
Absolutely.
we've been, I say we've been talking to the adults so far, but also the kids. So let's for our kids that are watching, or for the parents that are watching, for the
Yes.
kids, what is your message to them? You know, let's just talk to the kids now and help them to understand why is it so important, and how can they, you know, handle themselves when it comes to the germs.
Right. Well, I think one big thing about Germy Little Germinators is that we not only want to make children germ conscious about the bad germs, but also to let them know that there's good germs that you have too. So a lot of kids instantly, and just like adults, when they think of germs, they think of, oh, nasty, you know, oh, wash my hands. But also too, children need to know that they were born with good germs inside their belly. And so the thing is also too, we can do things to keep those good germs strong and healthy, that keep fighting our body to keep feeling well and keep feeling healthy, such as eating properly. We go into that, such as getting enough sleep, and also too, not most importantly, washing your hands. So, and it takes a village for that. So the thing is, we promote, you know, washing your hands because of bad germs, but we also want to promote healthy by doing other things that can keep them healthy and strong. So the
Absolutely.
thing is, we also have our song to make hand washing more memorable, to make washing more fun. Because as we know, and even as an educator, we fell back on happy birthday song and the 1, 2, 3, and after a while that gets old. For me, I wouldn't want to sing happy birthday if it's not my birthday. I'll get tired of that. Because
Yeah.
when I'll sing it on my birthday, it's to have a special meaning. And
Right.
so after a while, even when you age up in the second grade, counting to 20, it gets kind of boring. But if you have that song, you have that beat, if you have that poem in your head, it makes hand washing so much fun and memorable, and it ties it all together. Germy, hand washing, it's fitting and it makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And then that just goes back to what I want people to understand is this is well thought out, and it actually plays into STEM, you know, and what they're getting. They're actually, this is creative learning that you're giving to these kids. So, you know, you are a teacher of 10 plus years, as you say.
right.
So for those who may not really get
Yes.
it, or maybe not
And so
understand, talk to that point of how this is education.
oh my gosh, it's so imperative. And as you heard my story earlier, that epiphany moment, it's true. It happens on a day-to-day basis where our early intervention ages, they lack the awareness of hand hygiene and other health-based practices. Even though they know a little bit about it, as educators, we don't dive in, you know, enough about this particular subject. We may cover it at the beginning of the year, maybe the middle of the year, but we are not really driving the message into the children's minds to create that behavior change. And that is kind of where we come in, and that is where we want to make the difference, because something is not clicking to help them change their behavior, to help them remember to wash their hands properly and motivate them. We forget about that too, that we have to motivate kids too, to drive that behavior change. One thing about motivators and behind hand washing and changing your habit, through research, through nurture, I think is a motivator. They said motivate, nurture. You have discuss. You also have comfort and affiliation are the four key drivers that drive that behavior change. So we have
Teach,
to remember
teach,
that when we're
teach.
teaching, and not only. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I said teach,
What'd you
teach.
say?
You're teaching this morning.
Yeah, but those are the four motivators that drive that behavior change. And from a kid standpoint, ultimately, when you're having fun, when you're teaching, that is exactly when children are learning. And coming from an educator standpoint, that is what I do all day in my classroom. You can tell I'm a bubbly person, LeVar. You know, I'm a exciting, positive person. And that is the same behavior that we drive within my classroom when I teach. Because the thing is, when you're laid back and you're not into it and you're not having fun, the children are not going to remember it. And so that's one thing Miss GERMBuster does when I do my presentations or when I'm talking about germs and informing children about, you know, health, hygiene habits. I get into it. I get excited. I get happy about it because ultimately, which it took me a while to derive at this, like, what is my why? Like Miss GERMBuster, Miss Houston, why are you doing this for children? And it's because hand washing, kids, I'm talking to you out there too, hand wash actually can save your life. And so one thing I saw as a teacher is that when children wash their hands, they wash really quick, they wash really fast. They also were washing underneath the water, which we try to teach that step. Even some adults have that issue too, where we wash under the water at the same time. We don't have a tendency to get our soap and make those magic bubbles, as GERMBuster said, make those magic bubble gloves and sing that germy song as we are washing and scrubbing our hands and then rinsing. So if I have some children out there, you get your water. So you want to wet your hands. Then you get your soap, right? And then that's when you begin the germy song. You can sing the rap version or you can sing the song version, which goes a little bit like this, okay? No, and please pay attention to some of the steps that I'm doing. You want me to go ahead? You want me to go for it?
I'm going to play it. So this is what I want to do. I have the song, and since we're talking about it, I'm going to play the song. But also, all the kids, you know, get in an area where you can move around because I can't see who's watching. But what I want to do is you've also sent us some literacy. So we want them to be able to get the book. What I propose, and I'm just doing it live, tell me if you can agree. So for the kid, yes, there's the book. You're going to receive, I'm going to say we'll do what out of the books you send me. And this is for people in the Houston area. I'm sure you'll take care of those in your area. What we want you to do is make a video of this song and you will receive the book. And the way we'll determine the winner is you'll inbox or email us, either one of us, and the video with the most views after a week is who will receive the book. You know, so get ready for the song.
We can do that.
Yeah. And so we want them to at you as much as possible at Little Germinators, you know, and do your song and dance. And just make it a fun time. You know, it could be TikTok, whatever, but that's
what it's all about.
Yeah, make sure that they at you, and then you can just tell me who the winner is, you know, and we're gonna do it for our kids here. But so tell them what they do again.
All right.
How to get ready, how to wash your hand properly, and then I'm gonna play the song and we'll go through it.
Yes. So let me do the instructional version. Miss GERMBuster wants to give a version, and then we can have some fun with it. So, you know, it's a balance. You have to teach and have fun, and then it emerges together. So first you get your water, then you get your soap, right? Okay, and then before you begin to wash your hands, okay, you have your soap and water, then you can begin. So it goes a little bit like this. Can y'all see my hands? Germy, germy, go away. You make me sick and you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, germy, go away. You make me sick and you cannot stay. And by that time, by the ending of that song, you should have a whole magic bubble gloves on your hands, front and back, in between. You got underneath those nails when you did those circular motions. So by the time you finish that song, then you can rinse your hands and you have completed the 20-second interval that CDC recommends when you're washing your hands. So that is why we are changing the game. And also too, through our song, we're changing the game about hand washing and we're making it fun. And hopefully, LeVar, you can introduce to the public our song.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and play the song. We'll do it a couple times. And now that we have a few listeners, I'll play that song right now.
All right. Sounds good. Let's rock it out.
Can you hear it?
You make me sick, you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No.
That's my song.
You can hear it well?
I can hear it well, yes.
Good. You got to dance to it and everything. I wish we could show the video.
You make me sick if you cannot say. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot say. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No.
Say bye-bye to those germs. Say bye-bye.
Absolutely. So that's about a minute. We're going to play it again. We'll play it again a little bit later in the show. But that's awesome, you know, and
absolutely,
like you said, it's all about making it fun for the kids and giving them something that, you know, just helps them get through the process and really learning. So tell us about your boys and how they like it and how they gravitate to it. Are they being advocates for you? Are they teaching people as well?
Absolutely. And, you know, that's key, because the thing is, if they're not having fun behind it, or if they're not, you know, producing the message, or if they're not really interested, then I wouldn't push them. But the thing is, which I love, is that they're just involved in it as me. And so that's one of the mottos from Little Germinators, is it's for kids by kids. Because the thing is, as an educator too, is that kids understand each other, not just from a teacher to an adult, but kids actually understand each other and model for each other. So sometimes one thing that we found is that kids were wanting to do hand washing and do it properly because they saw their friends do it. And not only that, we actually have germ stickers to promote that behavior, because that's a part of research too, positive reinforcement, just not verbally, but maybe having them get a sticker every so often. Also to wash even more and to wash even more properly. So we definitely encourage that, but they love it. In reference to doing the dance, the song, they're all involved. When the song was being done, you know, we sat and we practiced the song, and he gave me suggestions, BJ and Jolandra did. And in reference to the dance, they gave me suggestions on what to do. So it's really a family-oriented thing. And that's one thing that I definitely want to push, you know, family first, and getting them involved as much as possible. Because the thing is also too, what I do from a mom standpoint, is that they push me even further to do what I do. Because I'm not only doing it for doing it for them, and also too, most importantly, I'm doing it for the public. Because at the end of the day, LeVar, it's not about me. It's about the children that we reach, right? It's about the families that we reach. It's about changing that behavior and that mindset, one hand wash at a time, one child at a time. So that's why we have the motto, teach one, teach many. Because we're a true believer when we go out and do presentations, that even if one child, only one, even if only one child out the group understood the message, was brought to awareness, and took it home, he has a chance to teach other people, and those other people have a chance to teach other people. So it's a continuous cycle of learning, which we want to create. So teach one, teach many. That is our motto, and we stick to it because we've actually seen it just through piloting program in classrooms, and also to doing presentations. We have had people call back or send me emails saying, "Hey, what is this Germy song? They're teaching me how to wash my hands properly." And I'm like, loving it. So that's the ultimate goal, is to break down the barriers and to bridge the gap between home and community and schools.
Absolutely. Man, I love it. I love it. You know, I can't say that enough. It's just so important, you know, and so to take it to another level. So anybody who just tuned in, this is Miss Jolandra Houston, Miss GERMBuster, founder and CEO of Little Germinators, a research-based company that really just handles the conversation and the details as it relates to germs, and the simplicity of washing hands, and how that could really, like she said, save your life. It really can, you know. And so that'll segue us into this COVID-19 talk, and also how we can't see that, we can't touch it, we can't grab COVID-19, but we can get it. So talk a little bit about something I saw, which was the black light test, to get a little bit more technical, not to lose, you know, our kid audience, but for the adults to understand that this conversation is for everybody. Speak a little bit on that
is.
part, you know, and how that relates to
Right.
the perfect example is COVID-19. You can't see it.
No, you can't. And that's from a kid standpoint, we still can talk to the kids in reference to that. We talk about how germs are invisible and we can't see it. I mean, we know that as adults. Sometimes children, you know, don't know that, but it's facts. And so sometimes I have to catch my mind and retrace my steps sometimes because I'm touching it. And this is a behavior change. This is an ongoing journey of changing our behavior. And that is hard. It's just like drinking water and exercise. I fall back all the time. I'm honest, right? I work out and I do good with that, and I fall back. Drinking water, I do good, then I fall back. But the thing is, it's all about changing that mindset to change that behavior. And so in reference to COVID-19, I just want everyone, my goal is to have everyone be more conscious, especially as the lifts come off, right? As the lifts come off and we go back to we were so hand washing when all of this coronavirus was coming out. Okay. It was like we were washing hands like crazy when all of this started to break the news. And so the thing is, we don't want to lose that. And we don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose that drive. But once again, I told you the 4 motivators discuss, right? So we were literally in the mind frame of discuss. You know, even when we go to stores, oh, I don't want to touch this. Let me put on my gloves. Let me do this. Let me do that. But the thing is, we have constantly got to be in that mindset, even when we're out of the quarantine, you know, of washing our germs. Because I saw the video, CNN, actually, to quote, it was a buffet. And one thing, I'm not really big about buffets, not, you know, those that do buffets. They're good. You know, I've had my fair share. But the thing is, if you think about those that go to the bathroom, for instance, then they come back, not washing their hands after the bathroom, but then they go right to that ladle or they go right to that spoon where they're scooping food out from a buffet. And then you come behind them, that spoon is carrying the same germs that the person before and the person that did not wash their hands from the bathroom is on that ladle. So that means that it's getting on your hands. And so we may sit down and we may say, oh, there's the sanitizer. Give me some sanitizer. But I'm going to tell you guys, we have got to get out of the mind frame of just having sanitizer at the table when we have a bathroom that has soap and water to wash our hands. Hand washing is the #1 preventative measure. We can't forget that. Even with COVID-19 going on, the flu season going on, or Lord forbid, anything else that may be going on, hand washing is the #1 preventative measure. Yes, if you don't have a sink or if you don't have soap around, yes, hand sanitizer is the secondary use to prevent germ spreading. But if you are in a place like a restaurant and they have soap and water, it's very, I guess, preferable and it's pertinent that you go to the bathroom to wash your hands rather than using sanitizer at the table. Let's not only talk that, let's talk about some of the items that are on the table that you don't see the germs on those items, like salt and pepper shakers or your ketchup bottles, right? So we have to be mindful of that too. And when things like that happen, okay, yes, sanitizer can be a good use because you don't want to be going back and forth to the bathroom all the time. Or you can take a towelette that may be at the table and wrap it around that particular item and use it to put on your particular items that you're eating. So just being in that constant behavior mindset. I'm sorry?
I said, you're speaking the truth. I hate when I go to a restaurant and you go to pick up a ketchup bottle or just anything and it has stuff on it. You know, that is the worst.
Yes. You don't know if a little kid came and picked his nose right before using the ketchup bottle and you're using that same ketchup bottle on your in particular. And those germs that are on that bottle go right into your mouth. So this is not even a call. This is not even a call for my children, for my parents. This is a call for the whole community to change our mindset in order to change our behavior. Coming out of this, we really have to look at things a lot differently now. This is our new norm. And it's the truth. We really have to go at things in a different perspective. But the thing is, we should have been doing this, LeVar, right? And so that's one thing that I about in one of my YouTube videos is being proactive versus reactive. So unfortunately, we're in a reactive state, right, because of the pandemic crisis. But that's not to say that we still can't be proactive with our behavior starting now, like within our homes. So this is what Little Germinators is all about. We are promoting the book, we're promoting the song, we're promoting classes, Zoom classes to be coming up soon. Yay! So when you see those classes pop up and you want your child to intake some of that information and that awareness, please tune into Miss GERMBuster. Let me teach them. I'm an educator for over 10 plus years, and I make learning exciting and memorable. So please look out for that coming soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll forever, and for those, that are here and maybe can't remember for whatever reason, you'll forever be up on my Dad Chronicles page. We've already talked about that. But just a little sidebar coming up in June, the second Saturday of June. Won't you tell them about the exciting thing that's going to be going on, speaking of Zoom classes?
Yes. So Little Germinators will be partnering with the YIP organization ran by Ronnie. Last name, please, give out the last name to some. Yeah, I know Ronnie, some people don't know.
For the ones that are here, is Miss
Yes.
Ronnie. She is through World Youth Foundation, and World Youth Foundation is an organization, and then YIP 365 is our outlet for our youth. And every second Saturday of the month, we meet with the youth, and we try to bring people that can give them some informative information. And we actually have two age groups. So Ms. GERMBuster will be dealing with our 5-year-olds to about 13-year-old, for this situation. So, you can go from there. So,
Yes, and my thing, I'm so excited. We are going to be tuning in Texas from the Carolinas to teach the children about being more germ conscious. We're going to be going over what is COVID-19 in a child's mind and from a child's perspective, right? Because a lot of children don't understand. And me being an educator this year, it breaks my heart that I see my children and they're in their mask, I'm in my mask, and they're so wanting to give me a hug, to just say that last goodbye. But they can't, right? So I have a parent that's literally holding their child back, even though they want to give Miss Houston in the classroom a hug goodbye, but they can't. So a lot of children don't understand that. And so that's where Miss GERMBuster comes in, where we're explaining to children, what is COVID-19? What does it look like on a child's level? What hand washing look like? What is it really? What do I need to motivate myself to wash my hands? Why are people wearing masks in my community? What's the importance behind that? So we literally break it down to a child's understanding of what is going on in the world around them. And we also give them an opportunity to ask some questions. So that's what we'll be doing with YIP 365. And absolutely. I cannot wait.
Yes. Yes, and the website is up. More information, you can go to her website. It's just exciting because, I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll see this or that'll listen or maybe heard of it, and they're like, oh, a show on germs, like I don't need that information. But that's not the truth, because if we didn't need the information, we wouldn't be where we are right now globally. This COVID-19 shut the world down. Okay, like shut it down. Yeah. That is just, I can't even think about that. It's been months on months on months, and you still, there's that talk, and I try not to get into that thing, but there are the people, of course, on the economy side. I understand we have to survive, we have to get out there, we got to do business and stuff like that. But my message is, don't move too fast. Don't move too fast. And if you have to move and you need to move, this is where this show comes into play. Don't forget how important it is, to stay and be germ free, and take the precautions that we need to take, as a society, to stop things like this, because like you said, it's just as simple as washing your hands, and
it is. And ultimately, that's what everybody is saying on every news station, on every research article. It always goes back to that. And so we really have to start taking this thing very seriously. And a lot of times we don't. And that is my for the community out there, for Texas and everyone that's tuning in today from the Carolinas. It's, let's not fall back into a relaxed mindset, because it's easy to do that. But when it comes to your life, okay, this is a serious matter. Okay, that it needs to be a behavior change, and we have to filter that down to our children. Even if you don't have children, You might have grandkids, or you might have nieces and nephews. And that's why when things like this happen, we are all connected, which means that we're all affected. And I like to say that because what's going on now is affecting everyone, which means that we're all connected. And the mottos, the message that I say to the public and to the community, I'm one person. I can't make this change all myself. Through research, Bronfenbrenner, I know a lot of people have heard of Bronfenbrenner before, but he has the family hypothesis, where when we have family, when we have community involved in child's education or in child's behavior change, it ultimately will help motivate them to change their behavior. But when other people are not supporting that, when other people are not modeling that behavior and not a part of that behavior change, it makes it very hard for our youth and for our children to change theirs. So, and that's just research. And that's a natural motivator. When people are involved, when community is involved, change can happen.
Yes. That's amazing. So for anybody who's just tuning in again, this is Miss Jolandra Houston, Miss GERMBuster, the founder and CEO of Little Germinators, a research-based company. Hold up our little Germinator character so anybody who's just getting on can see him.
Yes, this is Jermy. To all the kiddos out there, this is Jermy. Jermy is not only telling you about good germs, but he's also telling you about the bad ones and vice versa. So we learn all about what's good and natural in our body, and we also talk about the germs that we don't want to come into our body that may hinder and hurt our good germs. So we're out here and we're talking about Jermy's lesson on germs, where he found out, and when I say he, I'm talking about Jermy, where he finds out what he actually does and what we can do to prevent or decrease in getting sick. When I say that this is a great resource, and to go back to the journey of this book, this actually took about 2 years to get this done. It's a lot of back and forth with the pictures being the right way. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to how pictures look or how things are said. How the hands have to be held. So it was a lot of back and forth to get this book done. And it not only covers the story, but it also gives you the hand washing melody. And it also talks about the do's of hand washing. And we also wanted to encourage some parent engagement and participation. So at the end of this book, we also have a Little Germinator pledge, right, where they can actually pledge to change their behavior and become advocates behind hand washing. On the back, you also have a QR code. And if you scan that QR code, it actually will lead you to the Germy song and my website, where you can see the dance and everything of that nature, that's kind of under construction. We're actually getting the website where we can see everything on there. Just bear with us. But you still are linked to the YouTube channels that will show you the dance and the song and other things that I have to say on the behalf of Little Germinators.
Absolutely. And look, I told you, you're natural. I was getting ready to talk about the book. You already did it. So I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. Well, we still can go into it. And,
good. That is good.
A lot of people don't know, but it does cover like chemistry, biology. It covers STEM. So it's a lot compiled into one book, which this is why it took so long. We really wanted to make Germy's lesson on germs not only a fun story, but we wanted to make it educational. And that's the key behind literacy. That's the key behind reading.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm loving it. I can't say it enough. And shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Please. She's in.
Yes,
let everybody know where you are right now.
I am actually on the outside of Charlotte. We actually go by saying Charlotte, North Carolina. But I'm actually located in a small place called Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. And when I say that, I say it kind of sounds but it's a beautiful place. And it's on the outskirts of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we are bringing you love from the Carolinas all the way to Texas.
Absolutely. And so everybody that's on my live, please share, just, spread the message as much as you can. Share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, you know, wherever you can. We want this message to get out to as many youth, especially as we possibly can. I just thought it was just something that was just awesome that you're doing. So again, I can't say enough how I appreciate it. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna have this contest. You know, I don't know if you've thought more about it, or if there's anything, but like I said, I want to see people sharing a video of them singing the song, and tell them how they can go and find this song in order to do the contest.
Well, like I said, we have the song and the dance on our YouTube channel, Little Germinators. And also, too, I would love it. I would love it if you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Little Germinators. That is also, too, where we have a lot of our content on. So you'll be able to see other kids doing the dance and being involved in the song. And it's just a beautiful thing how people in different places are coming together to spread the message and are excited about spreading the message. Because I'm telling you, it's something about that song where it is just resonating with children and it is changing their mindset. It's making them excited, even if they walk away with the phrase, Jeremy, Jeremy. That's more than I can ask for. So like I told you before, it's not about Miss Germ and what I teach. It's about the community. It's about what they gravitate to. So, you know, I not only do this for myself and for my kids, but it's a community thing because ultimately I want us to be healthy. I want us to be strong. I don't want a lot of children or people in the hospital in reference to sickness and illness. And I'm out here and I'm spreading the word as much as I can and making it memorable as I can. So that's what it's all about, having fun. Absolutely. So go to those two different handles in reference to Instagram or Facebook, and go check out the day and the song and follow us. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Absolutely. Do that. And so the contest is, if you'll hold up the book while I'm talking, we're going to make sure that we bless at least 3 kids here in the Houston area with this literature. She's already sent out the books to me. I'm just waiting on them to arrive. So what we're going to do for the 3 kids that can share the Jeremy song, you don't necessarily have to do the dance. She understands, you know, some may be shy, maybe just, you know, bop side to side, you know, put a little bop in it, like my man, the baby says, but, you know, put a little bop in it.
You don't have to do the whole entire song.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the whole entire song if you don't want to. Even if you just do a little bit snippet, spread the word out there, have fun with it.
Absolutely. And the kid and then we'll view it. I'll view it. I'll help you with that as well. You view it, and then we'll pick the kids with the most views. The person who's spreading the word the most, you get with me, and I'll send you the books that I have. If I need more, I'm sure she wouldn't mind doing that. You know, if we need to send other books as well. But pay attention to her platform.
And I would like to say real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to say real quickly that the Penny family based out in Atlanta, Georgia, they actually partnered with Little Germinators to donate these books that have been sent to you. So I just want to say I appreciate them so much. They are great supporters of Little Germinators. So their books are coming your way. And so thank you, Penny family, for believing in Little Germinators. Also to Shay Toria, she's been a great supporter. So thank you so much. Continue to support Little Germinators and the mission.
Absolutely, man. And that goes for any and everybody that's supporting you. Shout out to your kids out there in the Carolinas, you know, just anybody that's supporting this movement.
Thank
that
you.
Know, because we just met. I don't know everybody.
Thank you.
But, you know, it takes a village, you know, and I have a so I'll do that too. Once we can get back out, I have an event that's called It Takes a Village, and we put on once a month to where we go in underserved areas and we just do a big block party. You know, and the whole thing is to bring arts and literacy and music and all of this. So the Little Jeremy message will definitely be a part of that event. And of course, we're going to have where it can go viral as well. But what I want to do for those who logged in and missed it the first time around, this is a little bit of the Jeremy song. You can do it over there. But this is what it sounds like. And we're going to look for those kids to join in and get this message going.
And parents, we're calling on you too. Get into it, parents. Get into it.
It's coming through good.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm not singing with it so they can hear it.
Okay.
Germy, Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are
Somebody
there
says
any
low.
germs? No.
What'd you say?
Somebody said, somebody typed this low, so hopefully it's a little bit better now.
I know it may be a little drag.
That's your sister too. How's that, Miss Crump? Is it better? You can type a message for me.
Germy, Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water.
Thank you. She said that's better.
My hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No.
There you have it, man.
Oh, check it out, little
The
Germinators.
song. I mean, that track is banging. You know, I was teasing earlier. Somebody can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
I can see you playing it on your way home.
Right. I'm definitely gonna give my little man Landon. I hope he's watching right now. Go ahead and start practicing because we're gonna be on it. I promise you. We're definitely gonna be on that.
Yes.
You know, so something I want to give. I know what I want to give them as a takeaway, but I'll let you go first. What is the message that you want to make sure people are receiving from you being on here today? The few things, the one thing that you don't want them to miss and you want them to take with them. What would that be?
I guess my one thing is that ultimately I am Miss GERMBuster. I do what I do when I teach children, but I cannot do it without you all. And I just want you to know that it takes a village. Okay. Teach one, teach many. And the whole saying about we're all in this together is true. It's facts. I need your help. And so the thing is, to my educators, to my parents, to my grandparents, to my principals, people in daycare, nursery, anything. I need your help to keep pushing this out, to keep getting the message out, the Germy song out, the resource, the Germy book. And that's kind of what I foresee. I see Germy everywhere, in the classrooms, in the homes. Because the thing is, like I said before, the more that we see it, the more that we say it, the more that we do it, it becomes us. And so we want to create this movement, this mission to a movement to change our behavior. Ultimately, in hand washing and staying healthy and awareness to children to be more germ conscious. So that's kind of what I want to say is that I need your help, and I need you to help continue to make a difference, because I know that you all are fostering these skills and the message within your homes, but continue to push it and don't let off. Don't let off after quarantine. Don't let off after the lift is done. Continue
that's
to
when
push
it
that
really
message
starts.
and be germ conscious.
That's when it really starts.
Yes.
Is when you come off. You definitely can't let up again, because it's there's the other side of all of this that they made this happen and all of that stuff. But you can do what we need to do to be preventative, because just so people know, there's also the rumors about there's a second wave coming. So we're not in the clear, at all. And so that's why this message is
nowhere near
important. So important, man. And I just can't thank you enough for being the lead on a situation like this. And shout out to Miss Ronnie. I see she's still on the live. Shout out to you. So hopefully you've been tuned in the whole time.
Thank you.
This is what we have to look forward to for our youth. But going back to your vision, man. That's what's important. If you can kind of circle back to vision and how that relates to this and just what you see for yourself and the vision that you have for the youth, and actually not just with germs, but implementing this. What is the vision you see for the kids living healthy lives?
Yeah, let me get my computer going right here. I thought I had it plugged up before. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Be sure that I don't get cut off when
Yeah, you're
I'm
down.
guys. Oh. All right. So I'm back on. So in reference to the vision and the purpose, as mentioned before, I would love to see this resource within classrooms, within the homes, just because through research, it has been proven that germ conscious, germ awareness books are just not in children's libraries. And I speak to that from an educator standpoint, that they're not in the homes like they should be, nor in the school system. And we're taking it, we're giving the information out, but it needs to be a little bit more in depth. So my vision is to have the resources and to have an upcoming curriculum within the schools and make it embedded in part of the school systems, so that way we can see more of a change. Because ultimately, through research, that a lot of our absenteeism, it comes from sickness and illness, and that affects us as a whole. It affects the school system, it affects the government, it affects all of that. It affects our budget, and not only that, it affects our home. Because when one person is sick, what do we have to do as parents? We have to take off, right? Sometimes we have to take off from our job, and we have to be at home with our little one. And so that affects a whole bunch of things. I have a friend right now who lost her job because she had to take off for her kids being sick. And she lost her job behind that. So this is a serious matter, and something just as simple as hand washing can help reduce those statistics. Even when you're at work and you have a sick child, subconsciously, research I read the other day mentioned that can actually alter your mental state at work, because you're thinking about your child at home or who's sick at home. So it affects a lot of different variables that we don't think about from a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so we just want to push the message, get it out there in the school system. That's the ultimate purpose. And not only that, we want to get it global. We want to get this in other countries. We want to get this worldwide. We're not only being impacted by illness here within the U.S., but we are impacted outside of that. And so we need to spread that message even more. It's a lot of things to come from Little Germinators, and I'm excited about the journey, and I need your help and I need your prayers to help keep pushing the message even further.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, outstanding job on everything. I can't say that enough. This has just been great information. And the thing that, if I can get you to remember, I'm sharing some of the comments. I was so into the show, I forgot that I can actually put some of the comments up on the screen. So I'm just sharing those right now because they've been rolling in, so excuse me for that.
Appreciate everyone tuning in.
Absolutely. So
thank you.
If you could share those 4 pointers again, and I forgot what you call them, but there's 4 things that you shared that are good for the kids. I think it was the things that help them learn. If you remember that, if you could share those for me.
Yes, well,
so it kind of froze up on her end. Again, if anybody's just tuning in, it's Miss Jolandra Houston. We'll wait for her to come back to the live. But if you've been watching, you can't help but understand the information that she's sharing. It's just been great.
Oh gosh.
Oh no,
I'm sorry. Did it cut back off? Am I coming back in?
You're back in. Yeah, no problem. I was just.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's all good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's all good. Because guess what? In that, you're not going to interrupt this message. It's getting out here today. You hear me? It's getting out here. It's already out. So we're going to do this.
And I love your energy. Absolutely. Absolutely. So go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
Lord knows, what was my last point?
I was saying the 4 pointers is what I was asking of you, the 4 pointers. And she just froze a little bit again. Oh, looks like it's gonna come back. You there? All right. So we're nearing the end of the show. You guys follow at Little Germinators on Instagram, on Facebook. Yeah, internet gonna get defeated today, Chris. I see you. Follow Little Germinators on Instagram and Facebook. For those that are here, if for some reason you can't remember, you definitely go to www.dadchronicles.com. In the advertising section, I will definitely keep her in there. But this has been the Reach Podcast Show, and she's straight out of North Carolina, and just giving us information that is useful for our kids and helping them to understand the importance of hand washing, and germs. And in this time, I thought this show would be prevalent and definitely something that we all could use, even from an adult standpoint, to understand, help stop the spread of these germs. And we didn't get into the black light test. But there's things that we can't see that come in, and she's coming back in now.
Thank you for keeping it going.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for keeping it going. I appreciate it, Lamar. 4 motivators, real quickly. 4 motivators. Behavior change is motivated by nurture, by disgust, affiliation, and comfort. Those are 4 motivators that motivate behavior. These things can change our behavior. When your child gets sick, that's a part of nurture. You want to change that behavior because you don't want your child to get sick or your students to get sick, right? Comfort, that plays in our mind. It starts with that mindset, right? If we're comfortable in our mindset, it's very hard to change our behavior, right? But when we're tired of something, when we're sick and tired of something, being sick and seeing other people being sick or COVID-19, that can change our behavior. Affiliation, when you're affiliated with Little Germinators, right? You know the message and the movement, that changes your behavior. It is changing. The message that I speak to you has changed my behavior, right? Because anything that I put out, if I don't change my behavior, who am I to give advice, right? Who am I to spread the message? So I, in turn, have to change my mindset because I believe in this vision. I believe in this message. I have a passion for it. So therefore, my affiliation has changed my behavior, right? Disgust alone can change behavior. COVID-19, germs on the shopping cart, germs on the door, touching, right? That ultimately will change our behavior. 4 motivators that change your behavior. We have children now that are going back into daycare. Be mindful of that, right? We have children going into school systems. Please change that mindset so we can change that behavior now while we have time. We have 7.5 million children going into the daycare, right? To 5. Why? Because they sometimes have to. But don't forget that through secretions and all of that, exchange at a high rate in your school system as well as in daycares. So that's my piece for research. I don't want to give you too much research.
Oh no, they need it. They need as much as we can get. So I appreciate it. And then, of course, can you speak to the mask, right? So, there's a craze about getting the N95 and certain type of mask with the filters and stuff like that. What's your take as it relates to the mask? What's the appropriate or, the thing you push and you promote as far as the mask? Talk about that.
Well, they have different research for different types of masks. Of course, the N95 mask is the best one to use. But if you are going to use a cloth mask, which they suggest you do, try to have some dyes, which is it's called DIY, dyes inside your mask, where you can use a regular hospital mask and stick inside if it has the slots for you to stick inside of a mask. So the more dyes, the more to filter out the germ and keep them from coming in. All right. So, and one thing about cloth masks, I do want to say, is that keep a couple handy, right? So the thing is, you want to have some in your car. You want to have some, you know, in your purse. Keep them in a plastic bag. You never know where you may be, where you might need that. And I also suggest you keep gloves too in a plastic bag in your car. Lysol in your car. So it's kind of like a preparation kind of thing, preparation mindset that we have to be in, especially coming from COVID-19 and going into a non-quarantine world, a new norm. So you have to prep too. Prep when you're coming in the house. Try not to wear your shoes inside the home. Take them out, take them off outside on the stairs if you have a garage, or spray them down when you come into your home. So just kind of being an active mindset, right? Is that that's what we're trying to give off. In reference, like I said, to the mask, the more dyes, the better, right? So just be proactive and plan, okay? Plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. So lastly, it's at Little Germinators on Facebook and on Instagram is how they can find you. You know, please take advantage and jump into the little contest that we're going to do. Send the videos at her on those platforms. You know, listen to the song.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain what you expect, because it's like you said, it doesn't have to be the whole song, doesn't have to be the whole video. What do you want to see in this contest? And the winner is going to be of 3 that gets the most views. That's what we're looking for, because we're trying to spread the message with the most views.
Yes. Well, currently we did have a Germy Dance challenge where kids were sending in videos. It does not have to be the whole entire song. If you would like to submit a video, please send it to littlegerminators@gmail.com. Hashtag dance challenge. Germy Dance Challenge. Hashtag that. And it should connect you to the other Germy dances that you will see on my sites, on my handles, on Instagram, as well as Facebook. I would love to see you all do the dance and get involved with making a difference. Remember, it takes all of us. We are all in this together. Don't forget that.
Man, shout out to my son. I just received the text. I'm already getting pictures of him doing the Germy song. So I see you, Landon. I definitely see you. So we'll definitely make our video later. And shout out to him. If there's any of his class that tuned in today, I appreciate it. You know, I caught it at the end. He's going to the 1st grade, as your son is going to the 1st grade. And I know it's totally different times we're in. And
I know.
You know, I'm trying to get set up here today, and he's at the house doing that. So, you know, I was able to share in that moment. And, you know, we have some of his classmates, hopefully, that are able to tune in. But, man, that vision of getting this in the classrooms and spreading the word, and, you know, I can just see all the kids with your book. You know, this is great literacy time, because that's what I wanted to say, too, is, you know, another salute to you for putting it in a book, because if we teach our kids sooner, not just about germs, but just about the fact of reading, because us as a culture, you know what they say, if you don't want them to find out, hide it in a book. You know, and that's what they do. But we're going to defeat that too. We're going to get our kids reading and learning much earlier. That's my whole mission. The whole Dad Chronicles thing is just finding your purpose much earlier in life. And that translates into having a more healthy life, because the point is, when you find it, you're more conscious about what you're doing, you know, and it means a lot more. So shout out to you. I just can't.
Right.
A great show. I appreciate it. You know, what do you want to
do? Thank you. We're out here and we're promoting consistency, right? And you're helping us do that, because we know that being consistent with anything will lead to sustainability. And we know that people like yourself who are in the village to help spread the message is where we ultimately can make the difference, where we can reach into other places where we can't, you know, naturally or normally do. And I'm thankful for social media. I thank you for the virtual world and the call to be more virtual, because we can reach more people now. And I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing about that is that when it boils down to it, it starts at home. That's the other thing that I wanted the parents to know. Shout out to the parents who take it seriously and are, you know, getting involved and stuff like that. shout out to all the listeners that have been in and out from your side of the world. I'll say it like that. You know, we appreciate you guys supporting
Thank you.
Houston and being part of the movement. And shout out to everybody on this end. But again, Little Germinators, you know, Facebook, Instagram, do the videos, submit. We're gonna pick 3 kids or even parents. Hey, y'all can jump in it too. You know, if you don't have any kids, you might not even have kids. Do the video.
Yes, please
you know?
do.
We'll send you a book. I'm sure you know other kids to share with.
It's a family thing, right? It's a family thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so just upcoming things that we have going on again. Is there, I'll just let you share it. You know, what do you have coming up? I know we have the YIP 365. You can speak on that. And if there's anything else that you have coming up right now, please share that so they can stay attached to you.
Okay. Well, we just finished up the Jeremy Challenge, and we are now going into a lesson line. So I want parents to keep an eye out for that, for Miss GERMBuster to tune in to your home and to your children at home, so we can teach them about what is COVID-19 and why do we wear masks, and dive a little bit more deeper into Journey itself, and become more germ conscious through these lessons. Because we, like I said, ultimately, again, consistency equals sustainability. And that's what we are out here teaching. And so the more you are consistent with it, the more there will be a behavior change. And I need your help with that. And so we want to give them the information as much as possible. We want to, grind the information into their head so that way they can create that behavior change and see it more. Because this is not only just an action thing. This is research that when we see it more, it will become us. So we want to keep pushing that information out there. So those are some things that will be coming out soon. And also too, another book coming soon too, guys. So look out for that in the future.
Absolutely.
And song. And another song.
So, and to everybody on the live, hopefully all my people here are sharing the Reach podcast show. But to everybody in the Carolinas or people on your end, please share the Reach podcast. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. Go back and view all of my shows. And the thing is that I always try to do a show that pertains to the youth. And it can help us, holistically at all times, no matter what we're talking about, because my mission is to definitely give back. So I can't thank you enough, because this just helps me move my mission forward, as the same time I'm moving your mission forward. So this has just been awesome. I really do appreciate it. And then lastly, again, I
love what you said about giving back, because Little Germinators is really big on that. And so that's why we're out here. We're trying to give books out to nurses and children in the hospitals and programs like yourself. We are trying to spread the message more and more. And so giving back is the ultimate way that we go. And so that is our mission. That's our mission to the movement, is giving back in ways that we even imagine. And partnerships are so key, like with yourself and your programs. And that's how we're going to make it happen. And that's how we're going to make a difference.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say too. I mean, we just compliment each other, and I appreciate that, because the biggest thing is that you have to understand that you can't do everything alone. You have to partner. You have to
not at all.
Come together, sucollaborate, and that's what we're doing. I didn't even know you, and here we are now, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a great thing. And, that's another positive to the times that we're in right now. We're more in tune with Facebook. We're more in tune with being more creative, and finding new ways. And this is what that looks like. This is what it looks like. And so now we're touching the masses, and that's what it's all about, and so again, shout out to Little Germinators. Keep doing your thing. Put my man up there again. Put Little Germy.
Thank you.
Put Little Germy up there.
Come on, Jeremy. Hey, there he goes. There he goes.
Absolutely.
Does everybody see him?
Yeah.
That's him. Say hi.
So again, this is Little Germinators. I can't say it enough. www.littlegerminators.org. not .com.org. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Go to the YouTube page. Get the book. You can receive a free book if you do the Jeremy song and get the most views. And then also IG and Facebook. And you know, also hashtag the Reach Podcast Show so that I can see who I'm reaching as well too. So throw in the Reach Podcast Show on your tags and your hashtags, and just continue to spread the word about these germs because it's also relevant right now, you know, and we appreciate everybody.
That's right. Hashtag little germinators.
Yeah.
Please, hashtag. I want to see what you're doing out there. If your children are washing their hands, if they're bobbing their head to the music or doing their dance, or if they're reading the book, hashtag little germinators so I can check it out. I would love that. And remember, it's a mission to a movement. We are all in this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, Jolandra, thank you very much. Also, all the listeners, even people out on your end, we're doing a virtual 5K walk, Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June the 20th. You can go to the page. You can go to my Facebook page, or you can go to www.dadchronicles.com. Get registered for the race. It's going to be an amazing deal. You're definitely going to be a part of that. We'll talk about that later on. I thought about something earlier, but giveaways and things that we can, you know, get that word out there a little bit more. But it's in support of mental health and wellness of our African-American men, but as our community as a whole. And we're just trying to get this virtual walk really, really, really going and having a strong movement. And all of our partners like yourself, World Youth Foundation, shout out to my man Roy with Life Jackets. But we need you guys to become a part of that movement. But as of right now, it's all about little germinators. Little germinators. Nah,
man, I love what you're doing. You get your stuff out there because I love what you're doing. I tell you, you're doing some great work and you're making a difference and you're changing lives too. You're changing mindsets too. And so that's what it's all about. And so get it out there. And I hope people join. We're going to be doing the 5K race. So I'm excited. I haven't forgot you. We're going to do it. We're in there. So count us in. Okay.
Absolutely.
And we'll definitely be looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And we appreciate everything. We can't stop the show without going into the Germy song one more time. So we're going to play it one last time for everybody.
Hit them with it one more time. Let's go.
The Reach Podcast Show, where every show reaches beyond the ears of the listeners.
First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No. Germy, go away. You make me sick if you cannot stay. First I need some water, now I need some soap. So I scrub my hands clean, are there any germs? No.
Come on, guys. Y'all do it with me. Come on and sing it with me. Come on.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jolandra. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the Carolinas. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Great show. Can't thank you enough. I'm looking forward to next month.
Thank you. I had a great. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me. It was a great time. LeVar, I thank you so much for sending out the invite. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
Man, Landon is still watching, so he's definitely on it. I see him. Ronnie saying, Germy, thank you.
Hey, Landon.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Ronnie. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Hey.